Hey everybody, I'm at Three Ridges today to check out our winter wheeling potential, and if we can do this going up and down hills and much snow as we got, which is looks like 6 to 8 inches. And I am sporting a Three Ridges Events t-shirt or Mountains Test Your Metal t-shirt and one of their stocking caps, and I have a ball cap, and I will put a link in this video to their website if you would like to get some of their merchandise to help in building this adventure that we're all on together. And I am not getting paid for any of this. This is just me being me. But all right, no one wants to see me talk, so I'm gonna air down and we'll go check out the trails together. Okay, and I thought just before I get going, I'm in a 22 Jeep Wrangler JLU Rubicon, 3.5-inch lift, skid plates, 37-inch tires. They're BFG KM3s, and I'm aired down to 10 psi, and I'm not running beadlocks. You don't need beadlocks to go to 10 as long as you're not being crazy. So we can talk about that later if you have questions, but let's get on with the videos. Okay, here we are at the main trail. Just entering in. A bit of water at the bottom here. Luckily, camera avoided a little snow. Which you'll see later. It did not happen often. It seemed like every time there was a chance to hit snow, I was hitting snow. This first part here is pretty easy. It's nice. It's not flat, but you know, it's nice enough that you can just pretty much just cruise right on back. I'm going to show some outtakes at the end of, so right there, I did not go up that the first climb because made it part of the way up, but couldn't safely get past a couple trees without winching. So I just don't think it's like reasonable to have people do that. So we'll just, if we're gonna winter wheel, we're just gonna take this in the back way. And obviously we're gonna skip the steep trail going up because can't make the easy one. Definitely not doing the steep one. There's a steep trail going up. Here we are going under the bridge. Tree bridges. Pretty sure I find some snow here. Oh, found snow. Alright, here we are to the end. Gonna make the right, go up the slight hill. And this is right here is the entrance to winter wheeling area, Wonderland, and it is not. I tried it. It's just not safe. It's actually safer going up than it was coming down. Down, I actually got a little boo-boo on the Jeep. Bumped the hardtop just a little bit, but it's okay. But I'm pretty sure that winter wheeling between the off-camber stuff and what have you is it's probably just not worth risking it for most people, unless you're in a buggy and things just don't matter. But I'm not in a buggy. And you can see, I mean, even here, it's like it's slightly off camber. And it just wanted to go straight. And I think I had the lockers on. And that's the thing, too. It's like turning lockers off and on. It's like sometimes it's very advantageous to have the lockers on. But, you know, lockers are great for everything but turning. I mean, you can turn a little bit when you're in the snow and you're in an open area or whatever, but like if you need to make an exact turn at the moment you want to make it, you need to have your lockers off, or at least your front lockers off. And you can see it's like I get going. There's a lot of advantages to having lockers on in here, and I have my lockers on. You can see I just roll right through. Coming up here, I'm going to want to turn. And you'll see I don't turn. Oh, this is where I lose the GoPro. Poof. So I could not find my GoPro, and I turned the settings on so the beep would come on and off, and since my phone was still connected to it, and it's right here where Alice is. These are the branches that knocked the GoPro off, and ta-da, yay, we found it. I was like thinking it was going to be in the tree, but sometimes I have these branches grabbing, and ta-da, yay, we found it. I was like thinking it was going to be in the tree, but sometimes I have these branches grab and hold the GoPro, but did not this time. Okay, we've got the GoPro safely back mounted. That was lucky. I was like, where the heck is this? I expected it to be right behind the Jeep, and I couldn't find it. And so I had to turn the sound on and make the little beep beep. I turned it on and off a couple times so I could hear the beep, and found it and got knocked off to the side of the trail. You can see I've got my lockers on. Now I'm going to go make a turn. And the Jeep just said no. Still have lockers on it, didn't want to turn. Just like, no, you're not turning here, buddy. And that's kind of the key, is turning them on and off. Sometimes I got distracted and didn't have them on, and sometimes I didn't have them off, and so no matter which way I went, I was kind of just figure it out as you go, because it just doesn't matter. I'm not in a hurry. So here we are. Cut this little path through the woods. Still got to be careful, because you know it doesn't look at, you're slightly off camber and there's snow, if you're not paying attention, it could easily just put you close to a tree. So there's plenty of room to get through there, I think, without any problems. But, you know, just like everything, you got to pay attention. Here, now you come down into this little low spot here. It's also like a dry creek bed, little runoff area. And you come back up on the trail to turn. And I can't quite turn sharp enough because I initially had planned on going straight across and then up, but even when it was dry out, I determined that was already kind of crazy. So it's probably best to only do that when it's dry. But we'll have to see what it looks like in the summer, and then, you know, got energy, I'll just clip a few more trees so it's usable over there so we can make that turn up there and then come back. But for the winter, definitely that hillside is probably a no-go because it's steep enough that it's just like, you just can't quite make it. And here I am. I didn't make the turn properly. I know you can do this turn without having to do a three-pointer there. Again, I would have liked if the snow had just held off a little bit. I would have made another trail cut across through the stuff off to my right now. But this is nice. Now, I don't really see anybody wanting to, you know, nobody should want to go up those hills right now in the winter on the right-hand side there. And you can come over here. If you're careful, you can come down. And this is the backside of Candy Mountain. And one way you could go underneath that tree over there straight, and then go back and then go down into the wash area. Bad decision area. But I just did this across the dry creek bed, up behind Candy Mountain. You can see I'm still being pretty careful through here because it's just like, even though there's plenty of room, it's like, you know, when there's snow, you just never know. All right, now we're coming up on Pizza Rock. You'll see I make one attempt. I kind of just drove it like I drive it in the summer, kind of more angled. You can see I'm really kind of angled, and there's just not enough traction on my passenger wheel. And then I got hung up on my bumper just a little bit getting off. But you'll see I'm going to reset here and get dragged off this rock. Okay, so I'm going to get reset. All right, Now I'm gonna attack it a little bit more head on. Still at a slight angle, but I'm gonna point my tires up, and they get up, and then I come up, boom, easy peasy. All right, and all this stuff under here is all rock, so, you know, that's one nice thing. It's like, you know, there's stuff underneath the snow. It's got good traction under there, so you can just go. It wasn't slipping and sliding all over up there. And I think that's probably the way to go out of there, too. And you'll see. I mean, you can definitely go down the hill to the right there, but I'm going to go straight to the back. And that's where, if you take a left at the very back, you go down into the dry creek bed, and or dry wash, whatever you want to call it, and then go up, and that's Bad Decision Trail. And that's where I made the bad decision and wrapped my sway bar link around my axle, and then I pulled the tire off the bead because of that. So bad decision definitely seems like it fits. But from bad decisions come good stories, so there you have it. But I'll say I did not enjoy that. All right, so here I come back, and I'm thinking, all right, well, this is a relatively straight shot down. Shouldn't be a problem. But definitely going down is, you know, if there's not enough rocks under you, and that's the thing with these are all brand new trails, right? So all this stuff was open up. This is all dirt underneath. There's no rocks hardly at all anywhere. And anywhere there's dirt, there's almost no traction whatsoever. It's just dirt and leaves, pine needles. And your risk of sliding is so much more. So you can see I'm hugging this tree to the passenger side, and I'm kind of aiming at this big tree just so that I don't slide into those trees on the left. And I just get by. That was nicely done. All right. Now, I think if I'd have just gone straight and then cut behind the big rock and taken the easy way up, I think I could have made that. I think that would have been, but for whatever reason, I was just determined. I wanted to see if I could get up this little chute up to Pizza Rock, since it was a nice straight shot. And it is a nice straight shot. And I figured if I stayed a little bit to the right, I would have the best shot at doing it. Right? Maybe I should have gone more left. But the problem here is that the hill's leaning just a little bit. You can't really see it much on the GoPro here, but it's leaning just a little bit. And so when I started going up right here, now I moved over to the right, and then my back end kind of moved over. And there's a tree back there. And so then basically I'm sitting right in front of the tree. And it just kind of, you know, it decided everything for me. I was willing to give it another shot. I should have probably gone more left. I know there's more rocks over there on the left, but you know, I'm still trying to get off that tree just a little bit. I just can't. And what do you do when you can't get off a tree? Get out and pull line. a little spill. Always be careful out there. And then I just let the winch do the work. I just let, it idled in low 1. And just got right up there. Boom. All right, so now we're off and running. And let's see what else we can see. I figured let's get out to the main trail. I want to see what the main trail's like. Get to the main trail. And I want to see if we can go see the overlook. Because why not? I love the overlook. Always makes me happy when I see it. See my poor spider up there, his legs all bent up. This tree branches really did a number on him. I think I'm gonna take him off and get rid of my skeletons. Be done with Halloween now that we're winter wheeling here. Just gonna drive up to where it's nice and easy to stop. Maybe I didn't even notice that. I probably wasn't even. Yep, there. That's where I stopped. And there's other opportunities over here too that you could investigate off to the side. Some of these side trails you can go in a little bit, but just have to remember a lot of them are tight, so you don't necessarily want to do anything that's super tight downhill or uphill. And most of those side things, after they go in a little ways, that's what they become, so it's clearly going to be more dangerous. But this is something I was kind of interested in here, is how would this obstacle be in the snow. So, being a wider Jeep, I always go on the outside. The skinny Jeeps can always go on the inside if they want. But right here, the driver's side stays high, and then the passenger side dips down. Doesn't really show it as steep as it really is or feels, but so coming down, obviously it's going to be pretty easy there. But getting out, how will that go? Kind of like Pizza Rock, right? Like, how's that going to go? So Pizza Rock went pretty good. I'm thinking that should go pretty good too. Boom. All right, take a right, head up to the overlook. Get to the overlook without having to clean it off again? You'll see. Avoid the snow. Avoid the snow. Turn. Boom, overlook. Look at that. Isn't that nice? We're up here. Yeah, it's just beautiful. Nice place to relax, take a lunch. You know, get off to the side of the trail just a little bit so people can go by you here, but just a moment. Little lunch, that's always a nice thing. But while you're up here, what do we like to do? We take pictures. That's a pretty one. See all the snow starting to pile up on my hood from all the tree branches. There's Timmy peeking out. And look at that overlook. Let's go. Let's go, Dad. Let's go. So we are going. All right. Let's see, I've rejoined the main trail. So that's the overlooked loop. And I'm going to cut over. There's this side trail the Patriot Jeepers cut. It's just like another access trail. I think all these access trails need to be widened just a little bit on this side. There's that, the one, I think it's right there to the left. That one's kind of hard to get in and out of. Spring comes, we'll probably have to nip that a little bit. Make it so we're all happier coming in and out of it. This one too. Did not quite want to make this corner. Don't make the corner. I had to unlock the lockers. Just easier driving around with them locked sometimes. Not quite unlocked yet. But once we get going, there we go. Alright, so this just cuts right across from the main overlook trail. And I think this is the Rock Garden Trail, that's what it's called, I'm not sure. Once the names are set in stone, then I'll be able to remember things better, but in the meantime. So now I am over here looking, and there's this little minor play area. I'm just going to take the easy up and over because that's all we're doing. We don't need to risk nothing on the trail here right now. So we're just gonna go up this easy roundabout. This is that corner where Amy threw her bead. Where Amy threw our man's bead. And I did not make the corner. And then did not want to let me make the corner. And, back up just a little bit. get turned around, get back on the rock garden trail, then head back the way I came. And I didn't feel like going straight on the rock garden trail back because I know there's that one corner that's got the drop, and I know I'm thinking that might not be that good right now. So I don't know. If I'm feeling adventurous and we've got other people with, maybe we try it, but I didn't feel like doing it today. So I'm just going to behave a little bit as best I can. You'll see later I didn't behave well enough. So we're back to the overlook trail. Gonna take a left. All right. If you take a left there, that goes back to the main entrance exit. You know, the Badlands and all that over there. Down here, this heads to Patriot Pass and a couple other little loops down here. There's a loop off to the left right there. Snow. It's exciting. And I don't have lockers on here. I'm just driving downhill and making easy turns, relatively flat. We're just driving. There's rocks and little stumps underneath the ground right there giving us traction. There's Patriot Pass. Up to the left, right where that tree's down wedged between those trees. Take a left there, shoot right up, not a problem, easy peasy. When it's dry out. That's one of my favorite sections. I really like that. I like steep stuff. Be a little crazy that way. So like I said, I don't have my lockers on. I back down just a little bit. Put my lockers on. Got to here and I was like, ugh. I just backed down and I'm just like, you know, I need to give it a little bit more speed. Felt like I was going to be able to make it, and then I got to that spot and it just didn't have enough speed to carry it over. I need a little bit of momentum in that spot and I didn't have it. So here we go. Someone's back there going, give it the beans. Speed, and I just carry the momentum up and over that little bit. I'm up. I'm looking for the turn. And I'm looking. I'm like, where is it? I know it's around here. This seems like kind of an open area. There it is. It's right on my left. Tried to pass it. But this is the entrance to the backside of Patriot Pass, so just wanted to check that out, see how that was. Reasonable this was. Seemed pretty reasonable. Once I got turned. All right. Easily made it to the top. So you can go around the outside there on the right. Decided to still continue to go in between these trees like I did in the summer. Now if you were to go straight off to the right, then that runs to the straight back to the top of the hill. But there's not a lot of places to turn around back there yet, so definitely don't want to go downhill right now. So we just taking the left and just making this small loop. Okay, I'm just gonna come back down here and rejoin the trail. Right, go back to the bottom of Patriot Pass, or the entrance to it. If you take a left, there's some stuff back there we could probably do in the winter, but again, there's like one steep corner, so I'm not sure how far we could get without having to like worry about winching and that kind of stuff. So, but I was just investigating just like something basic and easy that we could do as a group. And if people want to enjoy this or not. Obviously, I'm by myself, right? And again, I'm on pretty good tires and aired down properly and blah blah. I'm by myself. Everything is easier and quicker, and I can just make up decisions on the fly. And I'm, you know. When you have a group, everything takes longer, so clearly this would just take a lot longer with a group. But, you know, and some people are going to struggle. There's always struggles, just like I struggle in times. So here we are. There's Patriot Pass heading up. Isn't that a beauty? It's a thing of beauty. Alright, I forgot to turn the GoPro on right away, so I was already rolling, but I'm just leaving that section. And this is where the trail comes out, and then I'm heading up, and then we see a hunting stand, and there is a trail camera. See it?
Hey guys! Winter wheeling, baby! Woo!
Like to wave and say hi. Again, there's another trail off to the right there. It's got some tight spots, so I'm not sure how wintry that really is. If you're more buggy-ish, you don't care about any damage at all, then you're probably fine. But so anyway, I'm not in that group. Not yet. Probably never. And here we are. This is the exit. This is the main trail then. The main high trail. Goes all the way up past Candy Mountain and up that way to the entrance for the steep trail and the less steep trail. Call it the easy trail up, but it's clearly I didn't do it going up today. So clearly it's not easy. Not with snow on it. Maybe if you get past that first part where it first levels out just a little bit, you probably can make it just fine after that. But it's that first part with the two trees there that you got to worry about. And I just looked at it and I said, maybe I can do it, maybe I can't if I, really send it. But does anyone else want to risk doing this? It's like I just can't see other people wanting to do that, and I didn't really want to do that, and it's just not worth proving I can do it. So I was just like, let's just be smart, back down. All right, now this is one section here, and it did feel a little sketch, and part of it is because you got that tree that's overhead. And going down, and I'm trying to go slow, but what it's doing is it's causing the Jeep to slide just a little bit. I mean, if you're rolling and you're not trying to brake and you don't care about going too fast through there, you just will roll right perfect through there. But for whatever reason, I was trying to go slow, and then it's like it started slipping it slipped the back end over just a little bit there. So that's definitely an area of concern, something to pay attention to when we're going up and down. But you can see, all right, this is pretty steep down, and it is steep down. And the next hill is steep going up. That's a long, steep thing. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to be able to really do this. But, I was able to get just a little bit of speed and momentum. And I just kept the speed and momentum going. And there you go. I don't know if you can tell, but Wyatt and Dana opened this section up. You see, they brought the dozer up here, and summertime, looks like we'll have 2 lanes there. We should be able to pass each other pretty easy up on top here, so that's nice. They're thinking about doing that for a ways, so at least some of these sections will get wider, and that way less congestion. Alright, so here I am. I'm just basically taking this main top trail back to where the trail meets that less steep entrance, the first trail coming up. Just turn it around. So you can kind of see it. That turn to the left, that's the one that goes up to their property up there. All right. So I'm just turning around at the top of the less steep trail, heading back. And I think if that continues out, I think that ends up being where it comes out by where the campgrounds are going to be, main campgrounds. All right, so what I'm thinking is, we're going to show the entrance to winter wheeling. But my thoughts here is, instead, we go back to like the backside of Candy Mountain and go straight back under that tree, take a left, go up, and then take the right that goes back to that little green area that goes to the very back of the property, and then take that whole green trail all the way back out. Now, this is the winter wheeling area, and I was just like, Winter Wonderland, do you want to build a snowman? Well, do ya? Are you feeling lucky, punk? Do you really want to build a snowman? Apparently it's not. I don't feel lucky. And there's a couple reasons. Some of it is like, some of these things, when it's dry out or even damp or wet, it's not that big a deal, right? But like, you can't really tell, but this is pretty off camber here. And it just wants to suck me right straight toward that tree. So I'm going to back up, get lined up again. I can get my wheels turned. See, I can do it. You can do it. Everybody can do that. But as a group, it's like, I think it would feel pretty crappy if someone gets damaged there. So again, all these little tight pinch places, they're not bad at all. Like if it's damp out or wet or any of that, but I think now once you add snow and people driving, and the fact that none of these areas are trails yet, like they've got to get worn in so that it's all packed hard, and that some rocks have come to the surface, so you've got some little extra traction here or there. So again, like all this stuff I'm showing you in the Winter Wonderland, it just makes you wonder why I did all this work. That's what it does. I should have did it all on the flat land down at the bottom. And I don't feel like I wasted my time, because damn it, I enjoyed it. But I was really hoping I was doing something for winter. That would be fun. And you can see, like, there's a lot of stuff here. Like, we can still do this little section, right? But how many people want to go fit through that one tight spot, and then it's like, even this thing here, it's like, negotiate this little turn. It's a little off camera. It doesn't show it, but that's a steep drop off on the left. So even though it's not that steep right next to where I am, it is just a little steeper, so it could pull you if you don't drive just right. So again, it's like one of those things where I was just like, make the call of, maybe give this a year or two, and then maybe in a winter or two, then maybe we can drive this. Maybe we cut a few more trees and open it up a little bit more, so that way up and down is not risking anything. but right now you can just see, I mean, you know, it's like you can navigate this. And that's not my objection at all. I don't have a problem with any of that. But I just feel like, all right, so you got a pinch point up top, and then you got this thing at the bottom, and you'll see. I'm going to insert some pictures here in a minute. But downhill, take a right there. You can do that part of the loop too if you want. But again, it's off camber. It's a tight turn. You probably end up having to make a Y turn. So again, it's just something else. It just makes me feel like, you know, maybe it just needs another year or two. So here I am heading down. I'm thinking, oh, straight shot. See where I tried to make it up? And I'm just like, I stopped there because I was slightly turning and sliding. But it doesn't show a lot, but it's kind of off camber here, just a little bit. And so right here, my back wheel gets, okay. So this is basically what I had to do to rescue myself from next to that tree. So I'm already out. But I was up touching the tree. You can see the line going to the front. And that is going to that tree, which has a snatch block there, which goes to that tree, which has a snatch block there, which goes to that back bumper. And that's attached there. And there you go. That was a picture of the tree. It went under a log that was lining the trail to the side, and then not under, it went over to the one side of it, and then that log then helped slide me right into the next tree. All right. I didn't realize that when I did this voiceover thing that it muted all these clips, so you couldn't hear the Jeep go. I apologize for that. I'm going to look to see if I can fix it, but just a quick look, it wouldn't let me, so I'm not sure what I need to do in the future to change that. Apparently everybody just gets to listen to me be silly, talk silly. All right, so here we go. Try to figure it out so you get some engine noise in there. I like it, hearing the thing. Even if and I will say the GoPro really struggled today. I don't know if it was the wind or the ice or the snow. Something got in and around the mic and caused some weird noises. But basically this is just the green trail that I came in. Green trail heading back out, going to the air up, air down spot. Pretty easy peasy. Okay, outtakes. The good and the bad. Well, the bad, my whole winter wonderland is probably just nothing more than a summer wonderland for the time being. So maybe once that trail gets wore down and there's some rocks kind of poking up through some of that dirt, then maybe we can do that. But the good news is there's still a lot we can do. There's the whole trail going in. It's that little section where you get in there and it's flat, and then you head over to where the Badlands are, and then you can go down behind Candy Mountain, and from there you can cut across, get over to Pizza Rock. I was able to get up on Pizza Rock, get back there, drive to the back, then come back. I actually think we can do the trail, but going down that slope, it's pretty dangerous. I didn't want to do it alone. I might do it if I got people with me, but it's a pretty straight shot. So once you get to the bottom, if you can get turned, I think the dry creek bed is that tough. It's got a lot of rocks, and I think we can do that. What else? I got to the overlook. I drove around. I drove below Patriot Pass, and I drove up the backside of Patriot Pass, flipped around. I mean, there's still a lot we can do. I don't think this is easy by any means. I think if anything, you know, I'm not a great driver. I'm not. But I'm experienced, and I just feel like a newbie might have some trouble out here. But if you have an experienced group and they don't mind struggling a little bit and doing some winching, maybe depending on the stuff they want to challenge themselves with. But you can see I went up some pretty steep stuff. I went up like that trail up towards the flat, up on the main top trail. I drove up that. That's a straight steep shot, but it's all rocks under there mostly. So, you know, and I am air down to 10, a legitimate 10. So you know, there you have it. But I think a good group could have fun out here, and you'd still have to be careful. There's risks. You can see, like when I went down the winter trail, I thought that I should be able to just drive straight. But what happened was there was a log that I kind of lined the trail with, and my rear tire went over that log and then basically then it kind of just dragged me into the next tree, and I bumped the top of my hardtop just a little bit, but you could see I got pictures how I winched the back end and the front end off, so both sides just kind of moved over. And but again, you know, I'm a little experienced, and I've never actually done that before, but I have seen it, and it worked just like I thought it would. So, but until then, Three Ridges events, winter, summer, fall, spring, we got it. And check out their website. T-shirts, they got hoodies, pullovers, long sleeves, I think, beanies, ball caps, you got it. Stickers, I got a sticker for my Jeep. I just haven't put it on yet because I haven't washed my Jeep yet. So, peace. that first test going up the hill didn't go all that well. So let's see how the rest of this works. Well, that definitely didn't go as planned. So that is most likely just a summer trail going up. You know, maybe the top half is doable. And if you start at the top, you definitely could come down. But I'm not sure anybody would want to try to safely go up that. So at the very least, it's a go down only. So we'll just continue on and see what we got up ahead.
Well, you know, you can't really do it safely from the top or the bottom at this point. Maybe in a year or two, clean up a few more trees and the trail gets broke in, we can. But that's it. Thanks for watching.